Hey, I'm Stephanie, and it's time to talk trash. Today I'm doing an empties video because I've got some stuff here that I've used up. I have some thoughts on it, so I thought I would share them for anybody who's interested in going through my trash with me like a raccoon. So that's what we'll do today. If I seem a little bit low energy, it's because I am low energy, and that's because I played my first live gig in front of like an actual in-person audience in over 2 years. So I'm a little tuckered out. It's been a while. I'm out of practice. So today's look is literally like I just rolled out of bed look. Like this is my attempt at, sexy bedhead. I don't know if it works, but this is all I have the energy for. So this is what we're working with today. The makeup is just some Project Pan nonsense I'm fooling around with. But that's an aside. We're going to get into the empties now. I will leave timestamps in case I babble, because when I'm tired, sometimes I do that. That way you can just kind of click around to whatever interests you most. So let's jump in. Let's start off with some skincare/skin maintenance stuff. I used up this bottle of Balea micellar water. It works fine. It's just like a local DM drugstore brand here in Germany, and it's cheap, and I can use this instead of makeup wipes. I just use this together with like a microfiber washcloth, and that way, like I'm hoping I'm producing less trash that way. So that's my attempt at it. It works fine. I have nothing particularly good or bad to say about it. It's just kind of utilitarian. Thing number 2 is this Good Genes all-in-one lactic acid treatment from Sunday Riley. This is a really effective chemical exfoliator, I feel like. I have to be careful with it. Like I can't use it too often because it is pretty strong. So I just use it once or twice a week. I just use a very small amount. But I really do feel like when I put like a half a pea size, and then spread that around my whole face and leave that on all night, I wake up with smoother skin in the morning. And I really do feel like because my skin is smoother, my makeup goes on better. So I really do enjoy this. Would I repurchase it? I would definitely consider repurchasing this. It is expensive, but it does take me about a year, maybe even a little bit more, to go through the big bottle. And because I use it regularly, but can use it so sparingly, I do feel like due to its effectiveness, it's worth the cost. Next up, we have the Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair Intensive Recovery Ampules. And the ampules are just like those little bubbles that you can pop and then spread the oil all over your face. I'm not sure if there's a big difference between this intensive recovery formula or the normal Advanced Night Repair serum. I have a lot of experience with the serum because I've used that for years. My grandmother gave me some a while back, and that kind of got me into it because I noticed, I'd say like about a week or 2 after I started using it, I just noticed a difference in my skin. So I just kind of kept using it. And these I got for free. It was either a gift with purchase or a gift from a friend. I can't remember. I thought they were very nice, but like I wouldn't use these and the serum. I would just use one or the other. And I feel like, for me anyway, I didn't notice a difference between this and the serum. What I like about this is even though the Advanced Night Repair serum from Estee Lauder is pretty pricey, what I can do is I find I can cut out some steps in my skincare. For example, I don't need to add a hyaluronic acid because, the Night Repair serum has hyaluronic acid in it, stuff like that. So like I don't need to use like 5 different creams at night. I can just use that one in a moisturizer and then I'm good. So I find that in the end, I don't think that it's that much more expensive than if I were to buy a bunch of individual serums and then, like mix and match them together. I think the formula is good, and I would definitely consider repurchasing it again. But right now I do still have some other serums to use up. So due to my low buy, I won't be repurchasing it right now. Next, we have a pair of products from DHC. These two, it's both from the Q10, the Coenzyme Q10 line. This is the neck cream, which I got as a gift with purchase when I purchased this. As for the neck cream, it worked. It was fine. Like, it's not something I would buy because I'm the sort of person, I'll just use the moisturizer I use on my face on my neck. So I don't feel like I need a dedicated neck cream. I also didn't feel like this, did any wondrous miracles, but it was nice. So, I'm glad I had it, but now it's gone and I'll probably forget about it as soon as I've thrown away the packaging. As for this one though, this Coenzyme Q10 Lotion from DHC, This is something I have purchased over and over again. And it's the sort of thing I always think I can go without. And so like I'll use it up and then like not repurchase it. And then a couple weeks later, I'll be like, why is my skin looking so dry? And I'll be like, oh yeah, I don't have my lotion anymore. And then I go and get this. This is one of those things that's like the first step in your skincare. So it's even before you put on your serums. It's like an essence, essentially, even though they call it a lotion. It's very liquidy, very yellow. And I just feel like my skin retains moisture better when I use this every day. And when I don't use it, I notice a difference. And I feel like that is the sign of an effective product. So this is one that I will definitely repurchase again. I'm not repurchasing it at the moment because over Christmas, my luggage got lost. I couldn't get my hands on these, so I ended up just going into a Sephora in the States and getting another essence from a different brand. So I'm trying that one out now, and I'll see if it's better, but I don't know. I'm not sure anything can beat this one. This has been my favorite for years now. Next, we have my tried and true L'Oreal makeup remover. This is just for eye makeup, waterproof makeup, liquid lipstick. This just works. It's cheap. So the next time I see a bottle of it, I'll pick it up. It's kind of hard to find. Like they don't always have it in stock. So like when I find it, I'll probably buy several bottles at once. But yeah, I like it. I will purchase it again. I've got a gel cleanser in here. This one's from Drunk Elephant, and it's the Best Jelly Cleanser. And I personally don't like this one. It dries out my skin too much. It's not like, you know how like some cleansers, they make your face feel like dry and tight and kind of like itchy? This isn't that bad. I just find because I have dry, dehydrated skin, I've actually got like totally complicated skin because it's combination oily, but it's also dry and dehydrated. It's just like depending on the location on my face, I've got different issues, and I just find this isn't ideal for any of those. So I was glad that I had a sample to use of it, but I wouldn't purchase this because it's just not ideal for my skin. The same goes for this one. This is the Good Molecules Instant Cleansing Balm, and I actually kind of hated this. And that surprised me because I thought I had tried this before. In my memories of trying it previously, it was just like a boring but very effective functional cleansing balm. It was kind of almost like waxy feeling, but as soon as you started rubbing it into the skin, it just kind of melted into your skin and then melted all your makeup away, and it worked great. But this one, I don't know if I got like a bad batch. I know people say that, and I'm always like, what are the chances? But maybe I did get a bad batch because I've used this before and it wasn't a bad experience. But this one, it looked fine. But like when I would go in, it would get kind of like chunky. Like I would try to dig my finger in to get some product out, and it would be like chunks would come out, and they were really hard to rub into my skin. Like I felt like they didn't want to melt away, and it kind of smelled bad. But not in the like typical it's gone bad sort of smell that I'm familiar with from cosmetics. And so I just kind of used it up because it didn't make me break out or anything. So I was like, well, it can't be that bad. I mean, I'm not like having skin issues because of it. It just was not pleasant. So I'm not a fan, won't be repurchasing that. Okay, here I had a sample of the Skinceuticals Tripid Lipid Restore 2 to 4 to 2. It's supposed to be an anti-aging lipid replenishing treatment. And I have to say, like, I think of this as a moisturizer. I actually really, really liked this. Like, I was surprised because normally I get these little packets and I'm like, meh, I'll use it up. It'll be great. I'll save some money. But no, this was actually like impressive. And what I would do was when I used the Good Genes exfoliator, I would want to make sure that I'd go in with like a really nice kind of gentle moisturizer over the top that would just really protect my skin. And I feel like this created a really comfortable protective layer over my skin. So I don't even know how much this costs. And I have a feeling because Skinceuticals is not cheap, I have a feeling it's probably just like beyond what I'm willing to pay at the moment. But I have to say, like, I would be curious to try out an entire thing of this because I really, really liked it on the evenings where I was exfoliating my skin. I felt like this was very comforting. And the last item of skincare that I have is this Belif Moisturizing Eye Balm. And this is like a very lightweight gel for the under eyes. Now, me as a person, generally speaking, I don't tend to purchase under eye creams because I kind of just think of them as super expensive moisturizers because they're basically just selling you a moisturizer in a teeny tiny little tub instead of like a bigger one, and they just jack up the price. That's how I think of eye creams. I don't know if that's the truth, but that's how I think of them. But I get a ton of little samples of them like this, and I do enjoy using them. So this one I thought was actually kind of special because it was extremely lightweight, but it worked well. It was effective. And so what I would do is anytime I was wearing concealer and like throughout the day, sometimes certain concealers would start to look very dry on me. And so I would just take a tiny amount of this and tap it on over my concealer. And I felt like it would revive it. And it was really nice because I felt like my under eyes just looked less dry and dead. So I really loved it for that. Like, for example, right now I'm using up a sample of a Josie Maran cream. And I really like using that one under concealer. So I'll like tap it into my under eyes, but I let it soak in before I put my concealer on because I find that one has like more oils in it. I mean, she's also famous for her argan oil stuff, so it makes sense. But I feel like if I tap hers on over the concealer, number one, it's kind of heavy. And number two, it tends to break up the concealer. So that one doesn't work for that. This one, however, is special because it works over concealer. So I wouldn't be against having another sample of this in my life. I don't know that I'd go purchase it because I feel like it's kind of, my goal is in general to find a concealer that just works and just looks great all day without me having to refresh it. But I do like this. So now we're going to organically glide into the makeup empties. We're going to start with a couple of primers here. And just as a little bit of background information, I have a pretty sizable box of primers to try because a bunch of my friends and family have membership to subscription boxes and stuff. And I feel like they get a lot of primers, and apparently nobody's really interested in primers because I seem to be getting a lot of them. So I don't know if that's just like a sign that people just generally aren't interested, or maybe like my people just aren't interested in primers. But all I know is I have a lot of them to try. The other thing is I don't know how old those things are because they've just kind of been given to me. So I don't know. The ones that I have now have all been given to me within the last 6 months. So they're still all relatively new to me. However, I think these two are expired, which is why even though this one looks full, I think it's time for it to go because this Veil Mineral Primer by Hourglass has green stuff growing inside if you look. So, I mean, this could literally be like, I don't know, when did this come out? Like this could be 6 years old. So like, I'm not going to blame the product for this. I'm just saying I'm not willing to smear it on my face because it looks like there's mold growing in it. As for this one, this is the Shiseido Refining Makeup Primer. And if I recall correctly, I think I've actually used this before. I think my luggage got lost once when I was on tour, and this was the replacement primer that I bought, and I remember liking it back then. But I tried it now, and oh my gosh, it made me break out so badly, and I mean immediately. Like I put this on, and an hour later, I just had like volcanoes all over my face. So this is definitely, I don't think it's good anymore. It smells okay, but like I don't tend to get reactions like that to things. So that was pretty extreme. So I think it's safer just to toss this one. My next empty is the Caudalie Beauty Elixir, and I believe this is supposed to be used for skincare. It says on the bottle, smoothing for a glowing complexion. And so I often use this as the last step in my skincare. So I would just kind of like spray this on and let it soak in before I primed my face for makeup. And I did like it like that. I know that Jamie Page uses this as like a finishing spray after she's done with her makeup. So I tried it that way a couple of times, and it also looked nice. I mean, it's got oils in it, and so it'll make anything that looks too powdery and dry like look a little bit more alive, a little bit more skin-like. So it was nice for that. But even though the sprayer on this does give you a very fine mist, every once in a while a bigger droplet would come out and like land on my face. And if I was using this as like a setting spray, I'd have to make sure to like tap in that little droplet. Otherwise you'd kind of like see it. Like, I mean, it wasn't apparent. I think maybe I'd be the only person who saw something like that, but that's the sort of thing that would bother me. So it was just something I had to like pay attention to, at least with this particular bottle. I don't feel like it lent any longevity to my makeup. It did a nice job making it look a little bit dewier, but that was about it. So would I purchase this? No. Did I enjoy using it? Very much, because it smells very herbal and spa-like. So just for the experience, I'm very thankful that I had the chance to try it, but I don't think I'd go out and spend my own money on it. Now that I have floofed my bed head a little bit, let's move on to this liner. This is from JD Glow, and I am so disappointed because from the second I got this, it arrived completely dried out and crusty and nasty. And I didn't say anything to the company, so like we can't hate on them because if they had known, perhaps they would have replaced it. But I was thinking to myself, oh, you know what? When I get home, I'll be able to refresh it with Duraline. No, you cannot refresh this with Duraline. I tried all the tricks I know to try to get this to work to make it less crusty, but this is simply dried out, unusable. I never got to use it, and I'm very sad because when it arrives fresh, this stuff is great, but sad. Next up, I have 2 mascara empties, and the reason is because once a mascara is 3 months old, it is dead to me. The reason I have 2 is because I have one black one and one brown one open. If I have several mascaras open at once, it's because they're different colors. Because I'm blonde, I feel like brown is just a much more natural thing for me to wear. Like if I'm wearing a, look like today with the green eyeshadow, then wearing black is cool because like I obviously have makeup on. But on days where I'm just kind of like going out and I just want to, contour my face a little bit and look nice, but I don't want to necessarily look like I'm wearing makeup, I feel like brown is just easier for me to wear with my light hair. So that's why I have 2 of them open at once. The Man Eater mascara from Tarte, I really like the way it looks on my lashes, but this one smears on me. I have very oily eyelids, and I feel like that kind of got a little bit into the mascara itself throughout the day, and it would cause it to kind of smear on this upper lid a little bit. So I'd always notice shadow up here whenever I wore this. It was like wherever my lashes brush my brow bone up here, that was the weak point of this mascara. So like I wouldn't purchase this, but like I had gotten it as a Christmas present from my mom. And I have to say I enjoyed wearing it. I enjoyed testing it out, but I don't think that one's for me. And the other one was my trusty L'Oreal Paris Voluminous Waterproof Mascara. I personally tend to prefer waterproof mascaras just because I have hooded, deep set eyes and a heavy brow bone. So it's just like there's a lot of ways for mascara and eyeshadow to go wrong on me. It's like difficult to get anything to stay. I just feel like waterproof mascara just like it does a better job generally of staying put. This one is brown, so it's easier for me to wear. I do like the formula. It's not like my favorite in the world, but it functions really well. It does make my lashes more voluminous. I think my all-time favorite was probably like the Lancome Monsieur Big mascara, but that's like I feel like that's too expensive for me. Like I found it in brown once and I really enjoyed it, but like I don't know, like because I throw mascara away every 3 months, I just don't feel like spending money on it. So I go drugstore. I basically wait for like a buy 2 get 1 free sale so I can get like the best deal possible, and then I just buy a bunch at once. So I've already opened my next one of these, and yeah. I like it. This is actually not an empty, it's a declutter item. It's the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Amplifying Eye Primer. And this just didn't work for me. Like I said, I have difficult eyelids. It's difficult to get anything to stay on them. But this primer just didn't do anything for me. In fact, I think in some cases it even made certain eyeshadows crease more. And I know a lot of people really like this. So like, I'm not blaming the product. Like, I genuinely have difficult eyes. So I'm going to give this to my mom because she has very different eyes than I do. She has very different skin than I do. And so I actually think she might like this one a lot. So I'm going to give this one to her. And the last thing I am moving on out of my life is a fragrance. If you're interested in that sort of thing, I did just do a video on my favorite fragrances. This was not one of them. But I don't think it's a bad fragrance in and of itself. I think it's just bad on me. You know how fragrances do that? Like they smell really nice on someone else, but then you wear them and they smell horrible. That's what happened with this one. I've used about half of it, so I did give it like a good go. But this is Atelier Cologne's Bois Blanc fragrance, and It smells nice in here. It's very spicy, but on me, it smells as if I pulled a Scrooge McDuck. You know how he used to like dive into his vat of gold coins? Except instead of a vat of gold coins, it smells like I just dove into a vat of black pepper and just spent an hour marinating in it. And like, that's what this smells like when I wear it. And that's just not the smell I'm going for. So I'm going to give this to someone else because I have a feeling it could actually smell wonderful on someone else. So I'm going to move it along. And that was my trash. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a wonderful week and that we can all remember that even stumbling can be a form of moving forward. So let's stumble in style.